and welcome back to chapter 9 in the book of Daniel. It has been said that the book of Daniel is the key to understanding Bible prophecy. In my opinion, chapter 9 is one of the most important chapters in the entire Bible. Why? Because it literally tells us when to start the countdown clock to the coming of the Messiah. In verse 1, Daniel tells us it was the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, the Mede, which was approximately 538 BC. Now the captivity began in 606 BC, and according to the prophet Jeremiah, in Jeremiah 25:11, the captivity would last for 70 years. So at the time of this prayer, 68 years have passed since the captivity, and Daniel is counting the days. Daniel had been reading Isaiah the prophet, and also knew that the man whom the prophet Isaiah foretold would issue the edict for the return of the Jews, Cyrus, had taken Babylon as prophesied in Isaiah. The captivity should be ending in a couple years. How was he to reconcile this with his vision that 4 worldwide empires were to come and go before the children of Israel were restored to their land? Only one had come and gone, the Babylonians. That left only 2 years for the passing of the other 3. This was the cause of Daniel's perplexity. He had to learn that Israel's 70 years sojourn in Babylon was a type of a longer dispersion, that it was to last 7 times longer. The vision of the 70 weeks that we are about to study was given to Daniel for this very purpose. As preparation for the prayers, Daniel fasted and clothed himself in sackcloth and poured ashes on his head, a token of his humility. So Daniel is in prayer and fasting, and he calls upon God to confess his sins and the sins of the nation of Israel who have sinned against God. Daniel's prayer is one of the most sublime in the Bible, and there's a model of confession, supplication, and intercession in which Daniel, the most spotless character outside of Christ, associates himself as a sinner with the people. He reminds the Lord that mercy and forgiveness belong to him, and continues to confess the sin of rebellion of him and his people. He goes on to admit in his prayer to God that all of Israel had transgressed the law, and that they were warned, and that they were told time and again, but now judgment is upon them, and upon Jerusalem more than any other city in the world. He recounts how God brought them out of the land of Egypt, and the people immediately sinned against him. He then begs for mercy from God on his people. He asks God to open his eyes and ears and hear his prayer for mercy. And in the middle of his supplications, he is interrupted. Daniel tells us that Gabriel, who he had seen once before, is sent to him to give him understanding. Gabriel then gives Daniel the prophecy of the 70 weeks. In these last 4 verses of chapter 9, the greatest prophecy of the future of Israel are revealed. Let's take a close look at verse 24. It begins with 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and the holy city, to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks, that's 69 weeks, Messiah will be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war desolations are determined. This last verse is somewhat of a mystery. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. A covenant that will be confirmed by the prince that will come. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Now wait. In verse 26, the temple was destroyed. In verse 27, here the sacrifice is being stopped. Is this verse telling us that there will be a third temple? If a third future temple and a covenant in the future, then the prince that shall come is still a future event. And it ends with, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. There are many questions that come up after reading this chapter, and many books have been written on the subject. What are the 70 weeks? What happened to the promise of the Messiah? And who are the people of the prince that shall come? In my 4-part series on Bible Journaling 66, I go into depth on these questions. I hope that you'll go there, watch them, and I hope that they will answer your questions. In the meantime, may God bless you, and Maranatha.